This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rajni Jain on behalf of agricultureinformation.com. I'd like to welcome you all to this online meeting. The guidelines for this online meeting posted in the chat window. I now request the moderator, Mr. Lakshmipati.
Thank you, Ms. Rajini. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lakshmi Bati. I will be moderating this meeting. Agricultureinformation.com likes to welcome to this meeting Mr. Manik Patil, the Director of M.G.S Grapes, Nashik, Maharashtra. Mr. Manik Patil will be speaking on the topic grapes cultivation, economics, and marketing. I now request the speaker to begin.
Hello everybody.
Please go ahead. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon everybody.
Good
Myself is
afternoon.
Manik Patil from Nashik, Maharashtra. I am a grape grower for last 30 years. Then I am exporting my grapes as a grower exporter for last 25 years under the name of M.G.S Grapes Private Limited. Then I have also a winery. We have tie-up with Sula Wines. All the premium wines of Sula are being made by my own winery. So shall we go to the topic?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Now today's our subject is grape cultivation, economics and marketing. Now before going to the subject, I just want to give a small detail in short regarding grape cultivation. Now for grape cultivation, if somebody was to want a vineyard, set up a vineyard, then there are some stages which he has to go before his plantation. Like before the plantation, we have to select the soil, means soil selection. Then the next step is rootstock selection, then variety selection. These are the three major areas where we can start the grape cultivation. Then after cultivation, we can go to post harvest management, where we have three options like domestic marketing, export marketing, and processing. In processing, again, we have two options. One is resin making, and the second one is wine making. Now, first we will go to the soil selection. Like in Maharashtra, or I think in South also, like in Andhra, Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka, we have normally the same soil structure, like clay soil, loamy soil, sandy soil, as well as gravel type. But for grape growing, this clay and sandy soil are the best one where the water drainage is good enough. And these soils are best soils for grape cultivation. But you can grow grapes in all this type of, even in loamy as well as in gravel type also. Only thing, the yield yield may be vary in this type of soils. Are you getting me?
Yes, we
Hello.
are following. We can hear you, sir. Please go ahead. Please
Yeah.
continue. We are hearing.
Yeah. The next step for pre-production is our rootstock selection. Earlier, we used to grow grapes on own rootstock, whereas for last 20 years, now the grapes are cultivated on various types of rootstocks. Particularly in Maharashtra's soil condition and climatic condition, the dogridge is the mostly used rootstock for grape cultivation. But last 2 3 years again we have introduced 4 5 new rootstocks like Paulson 1103, then SO4 is there, for Ramsey is there, 110R is there, then Freedom is there. Particular for red grapes like Crimson, Flame Seedless, then black grapes like Sharad Seedless, we are using now this Paulson 1103, which is doing better than this Dogridge rootstock. Whereas Thompson Seedless and the elongated one, you must be knowing that Sonaka, we called it Sonaka, which is grown on this Dogridge rootstock. Now in India, mainly we have three type of grapes. One is red, second one is black, and green. Mostly in red grapes, we have two varieties. One is Crimson Seedless, which is hardly introduced by last 2 3 years. Then second one is Flame Seedless, which we are growing for last 20 years. And this both these two varieties are go mainly for export market. In black grapes, we have Sharad seedless, then Jumbo seedless. These are the major two varieties in black grapes. Whereas we have one new variety like Fantasy seedless, which is again going for the export market. Then in green grapes, normally we have Thompson seedless, which we are growing since last, I think 40 years we are growing this Thompson seedless. And then we have its mutation as well as its Thompson's clone. We called it as a Sonata, which are elongated berry size and mainly mostly acceptable in Indian market. These are the shapes of grapes: round shape, then these oval grapes and elongated ones. Then our next step is plantation. Now for grape plantation in India, we have two type of structures. One is Y shape. You can see the trellis system, which looks like Y. That's why we call it Y system. And then another one is the Bower system. In our Maharashtra, we call it as a mandap system. Both these systems are good enough, but mainly for export market, yeah, export those who are exporting their grapes, they mainly go for Y shapes. There you can have good canopy management, then crop limitation, quality wise also on Y shape you get better quality. Whereas in Bower shape, mainly people go for Bower shape for domestic marketing, where you can have crop load more than Y shape. But again, there is a limitation of canopy. But anyway, some people like Bower shape and some people goes for Y shape. Now, after going to this structure, variety, rootstock selection, I just want to discuss about grape cultivation cost. Normally, we have two type of cultivation cost. One is fixed cost, and then another is the running cost. Fixed cost, in fixed cost is it comes tractor. Tractor is used for plowing as well as internal working in vineyard. Plus for spraying system we use these tractors. Then we have these spraying units which are Indian made as well as some imported units are also there. Then we have a drip system. Then again Y or power structure. And the running cost comes under the pesticide, labor, fungicide, fertilizers, and all these. These are comes under running cost. And as on today, roughly, if I can say, for export grape cultivation, our yearly production cost is approximately 7 lakhs per hectare, as well as for domestic grape cultivation, it comes nearly 6 lakh per hectare. In export grapes, we have very much restrictions. We have certain pesticides, fungicides, then PGR uses. On the other hand, for export market, we have to use some, I think, costlier pesticides, fungicides. Then we have to use wrapping for the same coloration for berries. That's why the cost of export grape production is nearly 1 lakh higher than the domestic production. These are the pictures of tractor which is used for spraying. Now the sprayer is already mounted on tractor. Then we shortly we will see the diseases. In grapes, normally we have three type of diseases. The major three ones are downy mildew, then powdery mildew, and third one is anthracnose. Normally before flowering, yeah, I think up to 35 days or 40 days, the vines are mainly infested by downy mildew. Then the next disease is powdery mildew. Normally it comes in the latter stage, whereas this anthracnose, it is also this early stage disease. Then we have in India we have this pest on grape vineyard. Mostly these are flea beetle, then caterpillar, mealybug, thrips, as well as jests. You can see the picture of downy mildew. On the leaves, there are some white patches. This is the infection of downy mildew on the leaves, whereas under you can see on berry, it's a white fungal infection. So downy mildew looks like this powdery. Then for downy mildew, mostly we are using mancozeb, fucocolide 4.4% plus phosphatyl aluminum, which is 66.67%. Then Metiram 44 plus dimethomorph 9% Wg. Then andipropamide. Then cyclopamide. There are other also chemicals, but mostly for export market, these growers are using mainly these chemicals to protect our vineyard from downy mildew. See, this is a picture of powdery mildew. See, you can see the leaves becomes whitish from the upper side. In downy mildew, it comes on the lower side of the leaf, whereas in powdery mildew, it comes on the upper side of the leaf. Even the bunch is also infected by powdery mildew. These are the few chemicals where we are using for powdery mildew control. This is diphenconazole 25 EC, then metaphenon 50 EC, fluviral 20 200 plus tebuconazole 200 EC. Then sulfur is widely used worldwide. Sulfur is used for powdery mildew control. These are some pictures of anthracnose, where you can see the leaves as well as the berries are affected by this anthracnose disease. We can control anthracnose by using copper oxychloride of 50 WP vegetable powder. Then you can use also difenoconazole 25 EC, then carbon carbendazole. Mainly these chemicals we control anthracnose. And in pest, this is major pest for grape growing. This is flea beetle. When we prune the vineyard, then when sprouting starts, this flea beetle can make huge damage in the sprouting stage. For flea beetle, we use this chemical lambda xylothrene, then imidacloprid. Then second pest is caterpillar. In all stages, it can make damages to vineyard caterpillar, mostly Spodoptera. For caterpillar protective as well as curative purpose, we use imamectin benzoate IUSG, then spinosad 45 SC, then spinotora 11.7 SC. Then the third one is mealybug. This pest normally comes when the grapes are ready for harvest, and its damage is really very big. At the last stage, it damages the bunches. You can see by this picture how this bunch is affected by mealybug infestation. It can grow on leaf, on bunch, then on stem. So every part of the plant, this mealybug can grow, and it's really difficult to manage this mealybug, particularly for export market. At the last stage, it is very crucial stage. You cannot use chemical because again there is a MRL issue for export market. So these are the chemicals where we can use for mealybug control, like piprofezin, then this imidacloprid 17.8 SL, then spirotetramat 15.31 WWOD. These are the chemicals we are using for the control of mealybug. And again, this is thrips. This thrips is a chewing insect. It scares on the berries, and the berries looks ugly. It affects the shape as well as the look of the berry. Again, this is a danger pest for grape growing, and these are the chemicals for using for controlling thrips. This Santrinoloprolate 10 OD, then Spinetorum 11.7 SC. By these two chemical, we are controlling these thrips. This is Jacid. Just like thrips, it against damages the berry, small berry, as well as the leaf. And we again use spinosad and imamectin benzoate to control Jacids on vineyard. Now the third one is application of fertilizers. In vineyard, normally we give NPK, then macronutrient like sulfur, calcium, magnesium, and then some trace element like zinc, ferrous, cobalt, molybdenum, and manganese. Mainly these are the fertilizers we are using for grape cultivation. For application, we can give manually or by drip irrigation or some micro element or micro fertilizers even by spray also. Like this man is giving manually the fertilizer to vineyard. Then this is a drip fertigation system. This drip irrigation system. By this system also you can give the fertilizers to vineyard. And third one by this spray application. If the deficiency, if you look the deficiency of any particular fertilizer or particular element, you can give it by spray application, and that's way that by that way you can manage the deficiency of that particular chemical or particular fertilizer element. Now this is just I talked about grape cultivation. Now we will go the next part of grape growing, which is the marketing part. We call it the post-harvest part of grape cultivation. I think in India we have roughly 3 lakh acres of grape cultivation, and from this 3 lakh acre of grape cultivation, The major part of the marketing is domestic, I think, which is 70% for domestic market. Then 10% grapes goes to export market, and third one is the processing. Processing in mainly goes for resin making, and small quantity goes to wine making as well as for juice, fresh juice. But the major consumption is for resins. Now we'll go to export marketing. From India, hardly 10% of grapes goes to export market, and that is also mainly it goes to European countries, then United Kingdom, UK, in Far East like Malaysia, Hong Kong, Thailand. These are the Far East market. Then we also export to China, Bangladesh, our neighboring countries Sri Lanka, Nepal, then Russia. Then in Middle East we export grapes to Dubai, Saudi Arabia. Like this, 38 countries actually as of today Indian grapes are going. Out of these countries, when we export grapes to European countries, it has to go through a certain channel. Mostly Indian grape export is being done by APEDA. And for European and UK market, APEDA has developed one software, we called it as a GrapeNet system. All export of European and UK countries, it goes through only GrapeNet. In GrapeNet, this is a software which is developed by APEDA, and these are the stages. Just I will elaborate all these stages. In GrapeNet, you have to register, means the farmer has to register his farm to the agriculture department, state agriculture department. This is the first step of the GrapeNet. When you register your vineyard to state agriculture authority, then after registration they give us a particular one code number. We start from MH, means Maharashtra. Then the next stage it comes after registration. We have to follow all the export cultural practices, growing practices for export marketing. And when your grapes are ready for export marketing harvest, then we do sampling of grapes. Sampling means we took random sample of the vineyard which is going to be exported, and we test this sample for 195 chemicals. The chemicals which are banned or which have the MRA levels, means maximum residual limit. We check all these samples with the APEDA accredited laboratories where we check these 195 chemicals, and once the sample is passed through this test, once the sample is okay for European and UK market, then the next step comes harvesting. For harvesting, we have a selective harvesting for export market. There are some characteristics like you must have certain berry diameter, color of the berry, then TSS means sugar content. These are the three major criteria for export quality grapes, and every exporter has to follow these three characters. So during the harvesting, we have a selective harvesting. We do the harvesting those bunches which comes under these three characters. This harvesting we do early in the morning in the cold temperature. Then we take the grapes to pack house, export pack house, which is again is accredited, yes, certified by APEDA. All the UK and as well as all the export marketing, the grapes, yeah, the packaging of grapes must be done in the APEDA certified pack houses. Like that, these grapes comes in the packing. Then in pack house, we have a grading. Again, for UK is different. Even in Europe, we have several supermarkets. Every supermarket has its own identification. They have own their characters, own norms. So we have to pack as per their norms. So the next job is packing. Again, in packing, we have loose packing as well as punnet packing. Some people pack in crates also, but mostly for export grapes, we are packing in punnets, 500-gram punnet, as well as pouch packing. Then after packing, we do palletization of that boxes, and after palletization, we send it for pre-cooling. Pre-cooling means fast cooling. Normally, when we harvest our grapes, the ambient temperature of our grapes is approximately 20-22 degrees Celsius. And we have to take this 20-22 degrees Celsius from to 0 degrees Celsius as fast as possible. When the temperature comes to 0 in pre-cooling, it is better for shelf life of the grapes. Once it comes at 0 degree, you can keep these grapes at this temperature for 4 months, means for 120 days as it is. And then once the grapes are pre-cooled, then we shift it to cold storage. In cold storage, the temperature is maintained 0 degree. For cold storage, it is just have to maintain the temperature of the pre-cooling. When the grapes goes in cold storage, we keep it for long time. Even we can manage the dispatch schedule by keeping in cold storage. After cold storage, we send this pallet through the container. We call it reefer container to the export market. And normally it goes by sea travel. I think 95% of Indian export is going through sea travel and by river container. And few quantity we send it by air. Actually, by air is just if anybody has any urgent requirement, then only it is feasible. Otherwise, by freight cost, it is very exp- expensive in the export market. So mainly we are using the sea route for export transaction. Then after container dispatch, we have a custom clearance. Like every container, you have to get custom clearance. Then once it is custom cleared, then it goes on the ship. Then it goes to supermarket. These are the documentation stages. Normally, hello, hello,
Bubble
are you
Patil.
hear me?
Yes, 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 yes. We are able to hear you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, once we dispatch the container on ship. Normally for European and UK market it takes 22 to 25 days. Whereas for other destinations like China, Hong Kong, Thailand, it takes weeks time. Again, Bangladesh it goes by road or by train or by ship. Even in Russia, Dubai, it will hardly 7 days to 15 days. Only for Europe and US market, we have some extra transit period. Now, when it comes to pricing, now for export marketing, normally we take 8 tons per acre or 20 tons per hectare yield for export grades. And for variety wise, we have minimum 60 rupees a kg and maximum 100 rupees a kg. If you go for a variety like crimson, which is red in color, which is newly introduced in India and mostly means acceptable throughout the world, is selling at high price, which is 100 rupees a kg. Otherwise, Thompson, Clay, and other varieties, the price comes nearly 60-65 rupees a kg. And per hectare, For Thompson, it comes 20 ton per hectare. This is I'm talking you approximate yield. Maybe sometime it goes to 10 tons, 22 tons. Yeah, it comes to 18 tons, but approximately it comes 20 tons per hectare. And for Crimson, it comes to 15 tons per hectare. So Thompson, then Crimson seedless, Flame seedless. These are the major varieties which are going for the export market. Now recently some exporters has introduced new varieties which are patented varieties. They have a patent varieties against you. You have to pay a royalty to that nursery if you grow that variety, if you export that variety. So there are varieties like Ara, then there are some SNFL. SNFL is one nursery from Spain and California. They have their own 6 to 7 patented varieties. And just 2 years back, they have introduced this variety in India. So maybe in next few years, we will have all these patented varieties for our domestic market as well as local market. The main benefit of these varieties require very small quantity, is low quantity growth regulating hormones. Then it comes in short period, like our now this which is our running variety. Yeah, this present variety we require nearly 120 to 150 days for harvesting. Whereas for these new varieties, from 90 days to 120 days you can harvest. So maybe in next few years we can have these varieties for our local as well as export market. Now we will see the domestic economics of grapes from India. Now 70% of our total production, from our total production, it goes to domestic market. For domestic market, the main area is North India. Again in North India, UP, is Uttar Pradesh, then Haryana, Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir. These are the major states where these grapes are major market for these Indian grapes. Then after this North India, we send Gujarat, then Madhya Pradesh, then West Bengal, and few quantity goes to South India. Because for South India mainly this Sangli, Solapur grapes from Karnataka. Then there are even vineyard in Theni in Tamil Nadu, and mostly these markets are covered by these areas. But from Nashik, our main area is North India, then Gujarat, then MP, and West Bengal. Now for domestic market, the yield is little bit higher than export market. Then the domestic market, mainly we are dependent on truck transit or train transit. I think 80% of our total produce goes by road transport, and 20% it goes by train. In local or domestic market, our packing is like 4 kg corrugated boxes, 5 kg corrugated boxes, or in 10 kg corrugated boxes or plastic crates, and 20 kg plastic crates. Mainly these four type of packing are going right now in Indian market. Then for Indian market, mainly we use black varieties, then elongated one, and lastly round one. For Indian palate or Indian community, they like sweet grapes, then they like colored as well as elongated grapes. Whereas for export market, we use some green grapes at low sugar. Low means 16 or 17 bricks. But for domestic market, we use 18, 19, 20 bricks, which are sweeter. Then Indian people like elongated varieties, like we have some Sonaka. Then black grapes, like Sharad seedless. jumbo seedless, but we also give some crimson seedless or plain seedless for local market also. Like this, Indian market, we give 70% of the total yield, and for Indian market, we get 50 to 60 rupees for black grapes, which are little bit costlier than elongated and round grapes. Mostly under black grapes, Sharad seedless and jumbo seedless. These are the main two varieties which are growing in India. Then the next one is elongated, which is we call it Sonaka. It is sold at 40 to 45, 40 to 55 rupees a kg. And then third one is round one, which is Thompson seedless, and it get really normally for 25 to 45 rupees a kg. The domestic business, yeah, the domestic selling is comes under from grower. It goes to the wholesaler, like in Delhi or in anywhere in India. Then from wholesaler it goes to retail market. On the other hand, when you talk about export market, the export container goes to the importer. Then from importer, it goes to various supermarkets in particular country, in particular destination. Now we will talk about the third topic, which is processing. In India, whatever we produce grapes, out of which I think 20% quantity goes to processing, and that is mainly for resin making, and few quantity goes to wine making. Now, if you talk about resins, Sangli, Solapur, these are the major areas where grapes are grown for resin making only. Whereas in Nashik, all the third type or third grade grapes, or which are not which is not going to export market or domestic market, it comes for resin making. Again, in resin making, we have two methods for resin making. One is the cold dipping oil method, in which we have some ethyl oleate is a emulsion. People dip grapes for few minutes in this emulsion, and they dry it on shades. We call it as a dipping oil cold method. And the another one is sulfur fumigation. In sulfur fumigation, you get bleaching to the grapes, and when the resin at the finished stage, it gets some golden color to the resin, which mainly goes to hotel industry, then bakery industry, and some other commercial purpose. Whereas these dipping oil resins are mainly used for normal eating. Price wise, this dipping oil cold method resins are costlier than this sulfur fumigation method. As on today, these dipping oil resins are sold at 150 to 250 rupees a kg in domestic market, whereas this sulfur fumigation method, the rates are 70 to 150 rupees a kg in domestic market. Recently, we have started exporting of resins also, but this resin export quantity is very small. It is just in introduction stage. I think I have covered most of the topics related to grape cultivation as well as economics of grape cultivation. Now, if you have any questions regarding our subject, so we can have a question answer session hereafter. So please, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manik Patil, for an excellent presentation. I now request the participants to ask their questions. We'll also be posting the speaker's contact details in the chat window. Now, participants, any questions, please? Mr. Siddhappa, you have any question?
No, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. What about Mr. Santosh? And Mr. Suraj Sebastian? Ms. Vachana? Mr. Yogesh?
Nobody has question.
Okay, no questions. I think your talk has cleared clear the doubts and all. I think any questions coming up later will be directed to the speaker by the participants. The speaker's contact details have been shared in the chat window, and that's all we have for the session today. I'd like to thank the speaker, Mr. Manik Patil, on behalf of Agriculture Information, for taking his time to speak with us. I now request the organizer of the meeting, Ms. Rajini Jain, to please close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
To thank the speaker. Thank you, Mr. Lakshmipati. I like Mr. Manik Patil for taking the time to talk with us. I also like to thank all the participants for their time. The meeting will now be closed.
Thank you.